Um, we had a case of VTuber pretending to be single, and that came out, and her audience didn't like it, and then she crashed out and deleted her channel. And that's her. Um, Name was Gunpei, and yeah, I, I, I was just curious how this all unfolded. So just some stupid entertainment, and we are watching it right now.
Have you ever watched someone destroy their entire career in real time? One bad take turns into two, then three, until their reputation is set on fire in a blaze of ego, hypocrisy, and self-sabotage. That's exactly what happened with Gunpei, a VTuber who preached against parasocial content while secretly building one of the most dangerously obsessed fan base in the community.
Oh, this is starting out very good. Remember what I said? Pretending not having a boyfriend? So her fans can feel like they are in a relationship with her or have a chance for having a relationship with her. Of course. Of course, this is what's going to happen. And then, of course, the character looking like she hasn't slept in days and looking like a little broken girl. Yeah.
For months, she mocked other VTubers for monetizing fan relationships, shamed women for taking donations, and clowned on creators with secret boyfriends. But the entire
Oh, the irony. Oh my god. Yeah. Don't do that shit. Just don't. You are just you are just shooting your own foot.
time, she had one too. And while her parasocial antics were
Shocker.
bad enough, her downfall wasn't just about leading on fans, it was about picking fights she couldn't win. Because somehow in the middle of it all, she also decided to go to war with a plushie maker. This is the story of how Gunpei built an empire.
Oh yeah, the story about the plushie maker. That's how I got introduced to her. Oh Jesus. That was actually really stupid. That is such a stupid story. It's unbelievable.
On contradictions, cruelty, and obsession, until it all collapsed in the most ironic way possible.
And the best thing is, she can't come back. She can't come back as a VTuber or anything else media related where she is talking because her voice is quite recognizable. So people would know immediately.
This wasn't new behavior for Gunpei. She had a long track record of controversies, jumping between different online identities, going by names like Zuba, Anantunona, and Francel. But of all of these personas, her Zuba account was especially infamous, constantly pushing boundaries and leaning into unhealthy dynamics with her audience. One of the clearest examples? Her frequently asked questions section, where she was shockingly open about the kind of fan interactions she encouraged. A fan asked, "Can we send intimate photos of ourselves, pics, cum tributes, etc.?" And instead of shutting this down,
Oh, of course. Of course. What would anyone else expect then? You know, people wanting to do this. What? Oh god. Maybe it was a mistake to watch this video. Let's continue.
she enthusiastically responds, "Yes, you can, heart emote. I'm more than okay with them being sent to me. I enjoy seeing them, and I also archive them just to let you know." It's worth noting.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get stalkers and people obsessed with you. Why? Oh yeah, I know why. Money and attention. That's why she's doing it.
That she kept records of everything, and honestly, that just sounds like a blackmail disaster waiting to happen. But you know what's really a disaster waiting to happen? My attempts at cooking. Seriously, if there were
Ad
records of
time.
that, I'd never live it down. That's why I stick with Factor, because their chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals mean I don't have to worry about burning my kitchen down. They're fresh, never frozen, and ready in just 2 minutes, so I can skip the stress of meal prep and just eat. With over 35 meals per week, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, and protein plus, I always have something delicious and actually good for me. Plus, they have snacks, smoothies, and more to keep me going throughout the day. So skip the takeout trap and fuel up for your goals. Get 50% off and free shipping on your first Factor box using my link. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code with your phone. But now, let's go back to Gunpei.
Got that? Support her channel if you want.
She made it also very clear that she didn't just see her fans as supporters, she saw them as boyfriends. In her frequently asked questions section, she stated that she didn't want to post these pictures publicly because they were meant to be private between her and her audience. I don't want to reply because it'll be public and I don't want anyone else to see your precious parts. If it's okay for me to be greedy, yeah, I'll be part of my collection if that's okay. I'd use it for my own material if that's okay. I don't want to fill my blog with those photos because they're just private fun between me and you. I really enjoy everyone's photos so far. Thank you so much. And here someone asked, any kind of pic you would enjoy? Maybe muscles, maybe butts? And she says, I like anything you want to present to me. I do like seeing bulges and seeing you pleasure yourself with a background of cozy bedsheets if you wanted to know my preferences. So she didn't just flirt with her fans, she treated them like they were in an actual relationship with her.
Yeah, this is stupid. But I also wonder how much money she made with this. I bet people sent her money too. I guarantee it.
She actively leaned into full-scale girlfriend experience content, going as far as posting personal photos of her and sharing intimate messages.
Do you want to cuddle? I want to be the little spoon. But I also want to speak in your ear. But I also want to put my face on your armpit. You stink, I'd sniff you.
As well as detailing
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh God. Oh. I bet she grew up without a father. Yeah, I bet she grew up without a father. Anyone betting against that? Let me know in the comments.
every aspect of her life, even her weight after going to the bathroom. She also went.
Oh no! Oh no! Why? Oh God! Why? This is hurting me. Why? Stop it. Oh God, we are only 4 minutes in, and I'm already suffering. Let's get this over with.
Went above and beyond to prove she was always available for them, such as sleeping in voice calls with her fans so they wouldn't suspect she had a boyfriend, and spending hours in Discord voice calls so fans always had access to her. And then there was her viral rant about dating her audience, where she openly declared that she saw nothing wrong with it, even saying that it was cheating if her fans had relationships outside of her. I'm not just a
Wow. This is dangerous. Imagine how many mentally unwell people fall for this stuff. Holy cow. She must have had a harem of mentally unstable people. Jesus Christ.
streamer. I am in love with my community. It hurts to know on both sides if someone has a relationship. It's literally cheating because I spent a whole day in a call yesterday flirting in Discord and we had a date together. This wasn't just engagement farming. This was actively fostering obsessive loyalty. She reinforced this unhealthy attachment with tweets like, "Please, I'm begging you, don't watch me or interact with me if you have a girlfriend who doesn't know about me. I feel like I'm getting cheated on. I'm serious. It hurts so much. I'm tired of e-dating, so I decided to treat my community as my e-boyfriend. I'm also really lonely, have low self-esteem, constantly forget to take my meds due to ADHD, and have a huge media backlog," which...
Oh my god. She is the girl with the neck tattoos that tells you not to worry while she's playing with a knife on your junk. That woman is crazy, and not in a funny way. Like, ha ha ha, I'm into I don't know. I'm into drawing paintings about I don't know, horror themed paintings. Something random like that. No, this one is, she's crazy. Like crazy.
are all things my community helps take care of. I'm doing GFE because it's fun and I want to be really nice to men. At one point she vented on Twitter about feeling betrayed by fans mentioning their real relationship. Damn, rage bait used to be believable. Unless it's not actually rage bait, because she immediately followed up with, "This is not a joke, nor a bit." She meant every single word. And in another Gunpei special we got,
Unless it's all just a show to make money of lonely incels that don't know that she's farming them. Or she's just crazy. Both are options. Both are possibilities. And none of them are good.
okay, I get really depressed and sad when a cute VTuber on the timelet admits they have a relationship or has another guy in their bio because, oh my god, I feel really sad for their fan who really saw them as someone to cure their loneliness. Also, they are the ones who benefit from your following, likes, replies, and chat messages, not to mention your subscription and donations. It's just such a slap in the face to say those types of statements. Her obsessiveness over maintaining this parasocial hold over her fanbase extended to how she managed her community. Gunpei famously banned the names of every single female VTuber from her Discord server. If anyone
Because that is something a mentally healthy person would do, right? Right?
even mentioned another female creator, their message was deleted and they risked being banned. Of course, no female VTuber could join her server for a while. Finally got around towards blocking every female name in my Discord server. Now companions can't talk about other women in my vicinity. I don't even know how that's physically possible. Surely she forgot at least one female name, right? But when she got pushback on it, where some people pointed out that she could benefit from having female friendships, her fans would defend her, saying, "No, she doesn't need friends, she only needs us." Which
is totally healthy for everyone involved. Like, totally healthy. Like, not creepy or, unhealthy. What are people doing? Stop farming mentally ill people. But that won't happen.
really speaks volume about how codependent and unhealthy her community was. And yeah, of course, if you were suspected to be in a relationship, you would also get banned from her server. And she didn't just control who they could talk to, she also controlled how they could interact with her. On her Ko-fi, she had a $1,000 unbanned forgiveness fee. Yes, you read that right.
Yes? What is this? $1,000 to be unbanned. Okay. Imagine how much money Asmongold would be making if he does this. Oh, probably $1 million, at least.
$1,000 to be forgiven after getting banned. And if you thought her tweets were bad, her Discord comments were even worse. One of
Oh
the
God.
most insane example, TBH, the only dicks I don't like seeing are ones that look really dry. It makes me sad, like I want to slobber all over it to make it happy again, I guess. What? What made all of this even more insane was that Gunpei constantly attacked other VTubers for behavior she herself was guilty of.
Of course she does. Of course she does. That's, to be fair, that's just woman behavior. All women do that.
She had no problem ripping into other female content creators, especially those who monetize their audience through emotional connections, did GFE while secretly having a boyfriend, or talked about their mental health struggles. She frequently mocked female streamers for being too dependent on their viewers and shamed them for asking for financial support. Never did a donaton subathon. That shit's is gay and R-worded. And one of her most brutal takes, imagine admitting to your community that you're a broke lord neat who can't work, so you complain about your fake mental illness diagnosis. Pretend to be nice to your biggest oilers, and yet you have a boyfriend and complain that your life is falling apart. Maybe
Oh. In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
you deserve it because you're so fat from DoorDash. At this point, Gunpei wasn't just hypercritical, she was the exact thing she claimed to hate. And that's what makes what happens next so much more ironic. But while Gunpei was busy love bombing her fans and
To be fair, this art looks good. I like this. This art is nice.
controlling every aspect of their interactions, she also managed to pick one of the dumbest fights in VTuber history. And it all started
here it comes.
because of a plushie. On November 24th,
Here we are. This is how I got introduced to her. This is gonna be juicy.
2024, Gunpei went nuclear, accusing a plush maker of stealing her design and demanding that VTubers ban him. Her proof? A plushie of her character, one she had never commissioned. At first, this might seem like a legitimate concern, but there was just one problem. None of it was true. The plush maker, Kusa, wasn't a scammer. He was an indie artist from Vietnam who took custom commissions. A fan had paid him to create a Gunpei plushie, and after finishing the order, he had a few extras left over. But instead of tossing them, he simply offered them to other fans. The plushie maker quickly responded to her tweet, clarifying that he had actually been commissioned by one of her fans to create the plushie in the first place. That's it. No mass production, no stolen designs, no shady business, but rather.
And imagine something simple as that turns into you having a meltdown and your entire career crashing. I don't even have words. How stupid can people be? This is a nothing burger. She's behaving like, I don't, like he's making big money out of this. He isn't. He probably got, I don't know, 200, 500, $200 to $500 making the plushies. And that's, I well, maybe, I don't, probably not even that. Maybe $100. Because $100 get you far in Vietnam. Because their money is not, they don't earn much down there.
rather than reaching out privately, Gunpei went straight to war. She blasted Kusa on Twitter, rallying her fans to report and blacklist him. And then she tweeted, "He's making AliExpress Temu tier plushies of my character, lol. The eyes aren't even correct. Gunpei's eye colors is pink, not fucking orange." Again, he just goes server to server, profiting off VTuber characters. And then she proceeded to shill her own merch instead. "Hi, you can support me by the new market merch drop at November 25th at 3 p.m. PST. I do get 20% profits, pretty good. At least I get profits then compared to this fellow where I get absolutely 0%. It didn't take long for people to fact check her claims, and that's when community nodes got involved. And from there, things spiraled out of control.
Who could have guessed that? You have a mental breakdown because you don't, get the money for things you think you are worth, you created, you done, and everything crashes.
Instead of apologizing, Gunpei doubled down. She mocked the people who bought the plushies, saying, "Lol, sorry to those who bought it, but that's kinda your fault. It wasn't vetted by me and it's poorly made." Like, what were you expecting?
So she's making fun of her fans. Yeah, that's smart. That's what you do, right?
At this point, most of the internet, besides her extremely loyal fans, had turned against her. Even big names VTubers like Bao, Shondo, and Pipkin Pippa came out in defense of Kusa, praising his work and calling out Gunpei's entitlement. But instead of stepping back, she went full mask-off mode. She started ranting about Kusa being from Vietnam, saying, "Bro lives in Vietnam, there's no way he's struggling for extra cash in that country with his business." And then came this absolute gem. You can sell orange juice with coffee shots for $1 and live off that for a week in that fucking country.
Oh, of course she doesn't know how money works. Of course she doesn't. Jesus Christ.
What? It would have been a completely different story if he mailed me the extra plushies, but no, he's so profit-oriented that he decided to sell knockoffs to people in my community who have no idea when their shit will get shipped. At this point, it was obvious. She wasn't actually mad about art theft. She was mad she didn't get the plush for free. She even confirmed it herself, whining, "I didn't even get anything for free." But Twitter buried her. Community notes came back with a vengeance, exposing her hypocrisy. She had already received hundreds of gifts through her public wish list, close to 400 gifts from her fans. And in one of her own voice clips, she even bragged about getting a full fucking outfit, as she says.
Chat, someone fucking, I think this is a surprise gift, but they gave me a full fucking outfit. It has, a top and bottoms, and it also has, bracelets and shoes, and the shoes fit me? What the fuck?
Realizing she had lost, Gunpei tried one last desperate attempt at regaining sympathy. She posted this: "I'm getting raped by the VTuber community, God please help."
Of course. Oh. Jesus, please help, relieve me of this pain. This dumb bitch is causing me. Oh my god, we are 12 minutes in and it's a 35-minute video. Oh god, it's even getting worse. I'm scared. Oh god.
Which obviously also got community noted. She didn't stop there though, she doubled down once again. "I'll always get fucked over by the VTubing community no matter what. I get my design character for profit while not even getting anything for free." Many such cases, which was hit with the coldest community note fact checked yet. There is no evidence of by anyone related to Gunpei. She is receiving backlash due to her own comment and entitlement, not because of a crime. And just to really drive that point home, they included Wikipedia links explaining the actual definition of rape and criticism. She had officially
That's
lost.
funny.
Her merch deal was cancelled, her followers plummeted, and even her own supporters were turning against her. Her YouTube account went into the negative, yet she continued. I'm only being watched by drama chasers because I'm a woman. If I was a guy, I wouldn't get any attention from my actions. People only care about male drama when it's about harassment or assault.
Of course she is playing the woman card. Of Why would I expect anything else? Of course she's doing that. Why wouldn't she? I mean, it works so well, right? Right? No, it doesn't anymore. It did in 2016, but today, no. It doesn't work anymore. People have woken up to that shit. And yeah, no, shit, no. We don't fall for that anymore.
Think that after all of this, she'd finally stop digging. But no. She went live on Kick, tripling down on her hate for Kusa. Instead of walking back her claims, she went even harder. She mocked her own plushies while stating that the ones Kusa made for Face Connect looked better.
And the plush doesn't even look as good as the Face Connects one. Like, this one is literally just felt. But the other fucking plushies other people got are like crocheted. And it's like nice. Like, I feel like the people hating on me didn't even look at the plushie. Like, this plushie is fucked up.
At one point, she even played the victim card, saying, I feel lonely at the top. And then, in a truly delusional display, she declared, I'm successful now that I have...
Wait. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just noticed something. This year, this is supposed to be a scar from attempted, ending herself thing. Yeah, she tried to hang herself, but it failed. So she's completely playing into the mentally unstable, mentally ill, depressed, lonely, sad woman thing, and men want to protect her so she can make money out of that. Oh boy, I didn't realize that it was that bad. Yeah, now I totally see how this is all coming together. She must. I guess she's actually, she's actually mentally ill. Like mentally ill, not just a crazy bitch. Well, I don't even know what to say. This is getting worse by the minute. And we are only 14 minutes in. There's still 21 more minutes to go. How much worse can it get? Oh my god.
haters. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, she actually took credit for Kusa's success. Thanks to me,
What?
Kusa has clients now. And to top it all off, she ended the stream with, everyone is promoting me, 2025 is going to be the year. But that comment
Sure.
did not age well. After the backlash, things started to simmer down, until Gunpei decided to come back one more time with what can only be described as a backhanded apology. I'm sorry, Kusa, I should have bowed down to your Face Connect goodness doll plushie machine and chilled with the xenophobic comments, which doesn't exactly scream sincerity. But instead of leaving it at
Of
that,
course
she
not.
immediately spiraled into a full-blown tirade, Kanye West style. She
Of
started
course she
rapid
does.
firing a series of manic, nonsensical tweets one after another. Some of the highlights included, I will never be funny again, I promise. I was never funny and I will never attempt to be funny anymore.
Well, that she was never funny. That shall I say it? I think that's the first true thing she said. Ah, Jesus Christ. Oh Lord. Forgive that demented soul. of that bitch.
You're fine, I just had severe psychosis because I got pumped and dumped by an Italian manlet last year. My He-Man regenerates from September, so I had a really bad moment and I can't cope with being a virgin again, so I'm sorry about all my female woman moments. Please
My brain hurts. What is going on? What is happening?
forgive me, boss. Can Trump pardon me from my VTubing reputation? Okay, that one was actually kind of funny. And the best part, she even acknowledged her manic behavior herself. My VTuber career is microdosing on having Kanye moments a bit too frequently. At least she was self-aware, just not enough to stop digging her own grave. By now, Gunpei had alienated almost everyone. It seemed like she had hit rock bottom after the plushie meltdown, the racism, and the Twitter spiraling. But no, because what really destroyed her wasn't the backlash, it wasn't the leaks, it wasn't even her most unhinged public rants. What sealed her fate was the one thing she had built her entire brand on. She had
I didn't see it before. This Japanese woman has a belly cam for your fat round belly. Why do I have to live in this time and age? Why?
made her identity about calling out parasocial manipulation. She trashed VTubers for monetizing fan relationships and shamed streamers for hiding their boyfriends. She even mocked one for saying streamers should stop treating fans like cash cows, laughing, "Skill issue, just make your viewers fall in love with you and don't have a boyfriend in secret." Her message was clear: if you're honest with your fans, they'll stay loyal. But guess what? She had a secret boyfriend the entire time.
Of course she did.
So how exactly did Gunpei get caught? Well, her ex-boyfriend Fusa was a viewer turned VTuber that she had dated before her girlfriend experience phase. Once they broke up, she fully committed to the girlfriend experience bit, and she did everything to convince her fans that she was single, sleeping in voice calls with fans to prove that she wasn't dating anyone, spending hours in Discord voice call to always be available, tweeting nonstop about how she was different from other VTubers who had secret boyfriends, and she did this for months. But then things started to change. She stopped sleep calling, she stopped hanging out in voice calls, and her tweets shifted from what users called pick me bait to depression spirals. Her fans noticed something was off, and a male voice heard in one of her videos set all kinds of alarm bells off for them. However, she continued denying claims of a relationship while still taking donations. Her community, now paranoid and obsessed, started arguing over whether or not she was lying, and the
Oh yeah, the community built around being obsessed and mentally ill. For this VTuber is being paranoid and want to know what's going on with their supposedly girlfriend. Oh yeah, I wonder why that happened.
drama exploded into other VTuber communities. That's when Genesis Prism stepped in. Genesis Prism had been friends with Gunpei since early 2023, long before the GFE arc took off. She had seen the warning signs, Gunpei's history of impulsive decisions, erratic mood swings, and deep dependence on her audience. But she had stayed by her side, believing that supporting a friend meant accepting them as they were. From the beginning, Gunpei had confided in Genesis about wanting to quit VTubing or restart under a new identity. She talked about feeling overwhelmed and often expressing frustration over how people perceived her. Genesis, knowing that Gunpei had a mental illness that contributed to mood swings, tried her best to be patient.
Okay, so we now have confirmed that the mentally ill VTuber is actually mentally ill. What a surprise to no one. Especially me. Yeah, of course she is mentally ill. I mean, have you looked at the character model and her behavior? Of course she is mentally ill. Everyone that believes anything else is just stupid. What are people doing?
Facebook daily at times, and despite everything, Genesis genuinely wanted to see Gunpei succeed. As Gunpei's GFE content intensified, Genesis found herself increasingly shut out. While she was a moderator in Gunpei's server, she was locked out of most channels and barred from joining voice chats simply because she was a girl. Gunpei reassured her that this was to keep her away from the GFE heavy parts of the community. And at the time, Genesis took her word for it. What she didn't realize was just how deep the obsession in Gunpei's fanbase had become. Early on,
Oh boy. Here we go. Now all the insanity comes out.
Gunpei had also been very supportive of Genesis, even telling her viewers to check out her streams. But as Genesis' popularity grew, their relationship began to shift. By January, when Gunpei secretly entered a
Oh, I wonder why it shifted. Yeah, exactly, because the cute blonde girl got the attention and success the mentally ill one wanted. Yeah, and they are both women, so of course now the less successful one hates her friend. That's how it always goes.
relationship and started withdrawing from her own community, some of her fans became suspicious. Instead of addressing their concern, she started banning anyone who questioned her, growing more paranoid with each passing day.
Of course, that's what you do. Someone criticizes you, you ban them. Just like governments in the West.
As this paranoia took hold, the drama started spilling into Genesis' own server, where many of their shared viewers had migrated. Seeing this, Gunpei began demanding that Genesis ban people who had questioned her relationship status, despite the fact that they hadn't actually broken any of Genesis' rules. As Gunpei continued to isolate herself, she went as far as deleting her own voice chat channels and purging multiple members from her server. Naturally, many of these displaced members sought out a new place to socialize, and Genesis Discord became the most active alternative. At first, Genesis didn't think much of it. She wasn't offering GFE content, she was just a VTuber who liked streaming and hanging out with her audience, but to Gunpei, this was unacceptable. As more of Gunpei's former viewers
Of course, that's unacceptable to the mentally ill woman that wants attention. Of course, it bothers her.
spent time in Genesis server, tensions escalated. The situation reached a breaking point when male viewers started hanging out in Genesis voice chat. In the eyes of Gunpei's most obsessive fans, this was cheating. Then came the moment that changed everything. Gunpei pulled Genesis
Right, I forgot about the cheating thing. Right. Gunpei thinks that they're her boyfriends. So them hanging out with her friend, who's a woman, of course that's cheating. Right, because that's a healthy way to look at things. Right.
into a private group chat alongside her secret boyfriend Vtrans, where she made a demand. She wanted Genesis to ban certain viewers who had left her community and moved to Genesis server, labeling them as schizos and insisting that they were a danger to her. One of them, an AFK paid mod who basically scammed her. And another, oh yeah, that guy posts enough Nazi stuff to get your Discord banned. Her brilliant solution? Just ban him, which shouldn't she also be concerned about her own server then? Then came Eki, someone Gunpei claimed had made her feel unsafe about attending Offkai. He's the reason I'm not going to Offkai. He basically threatened my security. Now, legitimate safety concerns should always be taken seriously, but at this point, this was a pattern. There was always a new problem, there was always a new enemy, there was always some fresh drama conveniently keeping the attention on her. Genesis
You mean the mentally ill woman is pretending that there's problems surrounding her that other people cause, not her? Wow, I'm shocked, so shocked. Just look at my face, how shocked I am. I'm not. Just in case you didn't get the joke. I'm not.
Genesis felt blindsided. These weren't troublemakers, they were just regular viewers who had been watching her for a while. They hadn't caused problems, yet Gunpei wanted them erased from the space entirely. So when Genesis refused, Gunpei's behavior only became more erratic. At first, Genesis Brisk felt guilty about how things were unfolding. She confronts Gunpei, trying to clarify that she never intended to leech off Gunpei or steal her audience. She even says, "That does feel kinda bad, and that's never been my intention. I never told anyone to come watch me or join my server. All I ever did was try to lift you up." But here's the twist. Gunpei never actually believed Genesis was leeching off of her. Instead, she weaponized their friendship, guilt-tripping her fans into believing that Genesis was the reason for her declining numbers. It was just
Again, what were you expecting from the mentally ill woman? That she doesn't do that? Of course she would do that. Of course she was guilt-tripping people and manipulate them. What are we talking about?
a convenient excuse for her to manipulate her community. Wow, what a nice thing to do to a friend. Jen even points it out, saying, "Guess I don't appreciate being used as the tool for that because it just fuels the hate towards me when I really didn't do anything but try and support." When Genesis started to have to deal with Gunpei's unhinged fan base as a result of Gunpei's action, on a few occasions Genesis would bring this up to her. "Honestly, you would do so much better as a normal streamer who doesn't have to deal with schizos." Because let's be real, Gunpei basically had a full-blown parasocial cult. Only her most zealous fans had remained after she had purged everybody else that would question her.
You mean the mentally ill woman that says her viewers are her friends, and when they interact with other women, that's cheating? You mean that woman is what? What are we talking about? Again, what are we talking about? Of course. Of course she's doing that. Why would you expect anything else?
Genesis acknowledged that Gunpei was making a lot of money from this, but yes, the money must be super nice and there are some cool people, but holy shit, do you have some psychotic members? And Gunpei? Time to Fansly Max. At another point, Genesis outright tells her, "This GAF shit just isn't cut out for you. You attract schizos, and like, massive schizos. And Gunpei, they're just lonely men, Jen." By now, Genesis was mentally checked out. She was tired of the drama, the paranoia, and the never-ending cycle of chaos. She felt like it was only a matter of time before a massive crash out would happen. So she made a decision. She left Gunpei's server for good. And to stop the drama from bleeding into her own community,
Yes, I do take requests. If you want to link something, do it. But today's stream this will be the last video because I have an appointment. Thanks for the link. I will look into it when I'm back from my appointment and look what it is after that. I will be streaming probably tomorrow again, but I'm not sure. And I will see what this is, and you know, if it's safe to react to on Twitch, then I will probably. By the way, if you want, you can check out my YouTube at time, and yeah, if you like that. And well, that's that. Let's continue with the video. Time is running, actually running.
community, she decided to implement a hard rule in her own server. I don't want any talk about Gunpei. I don't care if it's positive or negative. No talk at all. No shit talking, no praising, nothing. If I found out, it's an immediate ban. People have been trying to stir drama and I'm quite honestly sick of it. If you're here to do that, you can leave yourself, and if I found out, you will be banned. But
Okay, now basically the only Gunpei's only VTuber friend is now ditching her because there's too much drama. She's getting from the Shih Tzus her mentally ill friend brought onto her. Great. Fantastic. Good job. That's how you make a career.
Genesis had one last piece of advice before she left. One final attempt to get Gunpei to see the reality of her situation. For your own
I wonder how good this will be going. Seeing how long the video is, not very well.
mental sanity, it's probably better to rethink what you would want to do with content creation, because you can't avoid people watching other streamers, and those that don't will go schizo and send you screenshots of people in voice chat talking about a fucking game. And for a brief moment, Gunpei seems almost self-aware enough to acknowledge it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to dump all of this onto you and make you handle my drama. However, what happened next proves she had absolutely no remorse.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised that the mentally ill woman has no remorse for her mentally ill antics? Of course she doesn't. Of course she doesn't. Why would I think otherwise? Well, I didn't. Other people might.
The moment Genesis started gaining traction, pulling in more viewers and receiving donations, Gunpei lost it. She spiraled into an unhinged rant in her own Discord, launching a full-scale attack on the very person who had been in her corner from the start. She
Of course, the mentally ill woman is attacking her friend who's getting successful, while she is failing. Who could have seen that coming? Who? I wonder.
twisted their friendship into a betrayal story, claiming Genesis had love-bombed her despite their long history as close friends. And then came the real kicker: the jealousy-fueled meltdown over Genesis receiving donations. In Gunpei's mind, a VTuber who was open about having a boyfriend didn't deserve support. She ranted about people gifting things to a, quote, bitch with a boyfriend, and took it a step further, mocking Genesis for not fully capitalizing on parasocial monetization.
I get such bad Christian vibes from her. Why? Just stop. Why can't these people just stop their craziness? Well, they can't because they are crazy.
He outright suggested that if Genesis really cared about making money, she should break up with her boyfriend because there's, quote, nothing wrong with being jerk-off material. The
Why? Again, why? It's always the mentally ill ones that are the problem. And it's never surprising. It's never surprising when the mentally ill ones are the problem, and it's never surprising when, you know, the ones with the problems are mentally ill. It's just a never-ending cycle. The never-ending cycle of problems and mental illness.
irony was almost poetic. Gunpei had a secret boyfriend the entire time, yet she was furious that someone else who had been transparent about their relationship from the start was still thriving. It wasn't about morality or fairness, it was pure jealousy. For months, Genesis had quietly endured harassment from Gunpei's obsessive fanbase, choosing not to escalate things out of respect for their friendship, but waking up to multiple screenshots of Gunpei publicly smearing her and fueling even more harassment behind her back made one thing clear: there was no coming back from this. So she had two choices: either stay silent and continue being a scapegoat for as long as Gunpei needed someone to blame, or expose the truth, leak the DMs confirming that Gunpei had a boyfriend the entire time, finally putting an end to the hypocrisy-driven harassment. In the end,
Well, it would be better for her to end the situation, end the friendship, and move on, because Gunpei is what we call these days toxic, and you don't want that in your circles. That bitch is gonna stab you in the back, like badly, like ripping you apart. This is going nowhere if you stay with it.
the choice was obvious. The harassment wasn't going to stop unless the illusion Gunpei had crafted was shattered. Instead of a public leak, Genesis shared proof with two questioning viewers. When they confronted Gunpei, she panicked. Within hours, her Discord server was gone, her Twitter account was deactivated, everything she had built, every carefully controlled lie came crashing down in an instant. And if getting exposed by her own friend wasn't bad enough, things somehow got even worse. A group of ex-friends or ex-fans and disgruntled community members decided to take things a step further. They built an entire website dedicated to exposing her. This was an entire museum of receipts. There was screenshots of her DMs, clips of her racist.
Oh Jesus. This is when you know people don't like you. Oh boy. Oh, they even have audio and pics? I guess IRL pics? Oh boy.
Remarks, soundboards of her unhinged moments, audio recording of her love bombing fans, evidence of her manipulating fans for money, you name it. Now here's the wildest part. Some of the archives, her old content, her selfies,
and I told you, she did that all for the money. I told you she asked for money. And now we have proof. I knew that in the beginning.
Even personal posts were originally collected by Gunpei herself. She had been hoarding her own history for years through her Zuba account. That's why she's even listed as one of the contributors to the website. But the leaks, the recent DMs, the private conversations, etc., those were new, and they were added on top of the archives. Her past and present had officially collided. At this point, there was no coming back. If there was any doubt left about Gunpei's secret relationship, the leaked screenshots shut it down completely. Buried in the messages was undeniable proof that she had been seeing someone behind the scenes. The exact thing she had constantly mocked other content creators for. Here Gunpei introduces her boyfriend Vtrans to her friend Jen. Additionally, leaked receipts confirmed that while Gunpei was still taking donations from fans who saw her as their virtual girlfriend, she was secretly using that money to buy her boyfriend expensive gifts, including a high-end 3-dio ASMR mic and audio interface, worth hundreds to thousands of dollars. Her fans were not only paying for her content, but also funding her entire relationship. In another instance, Genesis checks in on Gunpei, asking how she's doing, and Gunpei responds, "Yes, I love him. He wants to manager LARP me. We made so many spreadsheets," which really makes this old tweet from her hit differently in hindsight. From a ruthless businesswoman perspective, it's pointless to network with other female VTubers who have their boyfriends as their managers because they don't know jack shit and there's practically zero useful conversations to be held.
Oh, the irony. She is exactly doing what she's accusing others of. Mmm. Delicious. Delicious irony. Ooh. This is so good. This is so tasty. Mmm. Yummy.
Not only that, but the leaks show just how aware Gunpei was of the consequences if her audience ever found out about her secret boyfriend. In one conversation, she openly admitted, "Not gonna tell my community I'm at TwitchCon, they will kill me for having a boyfriend." To this, Genesis, who had never marketed herself as a GFE streamer, responds, "Yeah, that's fine. I never really said anything about my relationship status, but then again, I'm not a GFE streamer anyways." And then Gunpei, in what can only be described as a complete lack of self-awareness, says, "Me neither." She doubled down, trying to justify her situation by claiming, "I got groomed by Vatrans." She then adds, "He seduced me to..."
What is this? She's not saying she got groomed. Oh god. Why? Stop it. Just don't.
too hard. He kept writing me love letters. I swear I'm not schizo. So let's get this straight. The woman who built her entire identity on not being like the other GFE girls who have secret boyfriends and who mocked other creators saying, "Just make your viewers fall in love with you and don't have a boyfriend in secret," was doing exactly just that. Oh, the irony. As the news spread, Gunpei's fans were split between shock, anger, and bitter realization. One of her longtime supporters went to Twitter to vent his frustration. "I supported you even when everyone but your community hated you. Yet it seems like you don't give a shit about anyone. I'm not one to take the whole GFE thing that seriously. I genuinely enjoyed my time with you, and I do wish you the best going forward." Someone quickly responds, "Sorry to tell you this, but it was obvious she was just using her fans for monetary gain and didn't care about her fans." And the fan clearly heard defended himself. "What proof do you have to call this obvious? The reason I got into her to begin with was because she felt closer to me than my IRL girlfriend at the time. She definitely..."
Oh boy. This is... Yeah, this is exactly the kind of guys she was targeting.
Acted like she cared from when I first joined until she stopped doing the sleep calls. For many of Gunpei's diehard fans, this was a brutal wake-up call. But for others...
Oh, you mean the guys that she has a parasocial bonding with, calling them her boyfriends, and they are in a relationship? They are getting hit hard by, you know, discovering that she has an actual boyfriend who dicks her down. Oh, I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked. Oh god.
This was exactly what they expected. As the situation went viral again, plenty of old viewers came forward to say that they had seen it coming for months. Some recalled how they had warned her about the dangers of leaning too hard into GFE content. Others brought up her hypocrisy, pointing out how she ruled her server with an iron fist while mocking other streamers for doing exactly what she had been doing. And of course, many pointed back to her infamous boyfriend tweet, where she smugly claimed, "Just make your viewers fall in love with you and don't have a boyfriend in secret." Now, she was living proof of why that advice was terrible. And just when you thought it couldn't get more ridiculous, there was this. After everything...
You are telling me it's getting better? Really? You're telling me there's even more craziness to this? I'm all in.
Had gone down, Gunpei repurposed a form to be a boyfriend application. Yes, really. With questions such as, "Are you a virgin? What are the dimension of your genitals? And how often do you gump?" Like, what the actual hell? Moving on. At the
Oh
time
God.
of writing this video, Gunpei is back on social media, this time under the hashtag reformed. But has anything actually changed? Not really. She's been active on her alt account called Diet Coke, where she's fully leaned into her not safe for work content hustle. And if there was any doubt that it's actually her,
Oh, who could have guessed? Who could have guessed that the mentally ill woman pretending to be in relationships with her viewers is doing the dirty? Is doing dirty content. Oh, who could have guessed? I'm so shocked. I'm so incredibly shocked that I don't even know. I'm so shocked.
she linked the account to her own throne wishlist, confirming that, once again, with her, it's business as usual. Thank you so much for watching. Huge shout out to my Discord community for submitting this story. You guys are the real MVPs. If you want to contribute to future videos or just hang out and talk about VTubers, join the server at discord.gg/Rima. And if you can't get enough of my content, I stream on Twitch, YouTube, plus I upload highlights on my second channel, so make sure to subscribe to that too. Oh, and if you want to support the channel directly, check out my Patreon. Every bit helps me make even bigger and better videos. That's all for now. Until next time.
Okay, so
Lay down.
oh my God, what a ride. What a ride into insanity. This was certainly something. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. So this is what happens if you're mentally ill and a VTuber. You go full schizo, get some money, you betray your friends, you betray your viewers, and then you do porn. Great job. So much for this.